I'm excited about this next resume because it looks great. Okay. So this is interesting, this resume, and there's some actually issues with it. So one of the things is that, and there's definitely I think that a lot of people, when you're working on your resume, you're bringing in your belief in terms of what you believe is important. So people show what they believe is important or what they think is important in their resumes. And so what that means essentially is someone that believes that being an entrepreneur is important, it's important to show that. Someone that believes that social justice, yeah, diversity, even family. So all of these things, you need to understand that your audition need to work in a law firm in most cases. And that's where your resume is. And so your resume needs to show what the law firm wants, which means no trouble. And just, do the job, be acceptable to all types of clients, able to take multiple sides of an issue. Law firms typically want different things, and they also want stability. So this particular resume, when you look at what this person's talking about here, they say they've been a proven rainmaker across 15 countries and 25 plus cities. And then they also say they founded and built 3 startup businesses. So this person's and then they say, well, my family put down roots 40 plus years ago, where I was raised and educated. So this person's very proud of the fact that they're part of an old American family, probably. And then they founded a nonprofit mental wellness project. Typically if someone's founded a mental wellness project, I'm not saying this in a negative way, but it means they may be dealing with mental wellness in their family or something. I don't know. And then they said it disappeared and they just went to Hong Kong all of a sudden. And it said you closed because the building lease failed, that ended. So that's why it closed, not because of anything you did. Okay. So I'm not saying this person's done a lot of things. And part of the issue when you go to good schools, and this person went to Harvard and Columbia, is that you want that achievement and how things look to others and so forth is important. And that's what happens when you go to competitive schools like Harvard and Columbia, Harvard especially, because you're surrounded with all these people that talk about all these great things they're doing. And so this person, albeit the summary up here is basically the person's saying, I've done all these amazing things. I'm amazing. Now, I didn't just work at Simpson Thatcher. It's a top 10 globally, which everyone knows. And I ran a jujitsu gym, but I didn't fail at the building. And so all this stuff is about how am I viewed by others? And really with all these sorts of things, you need to let your experience speak for itself, because what every law firm wants is they want all these things. They want to know if you can do the job. Can you be managed? Will you do the job long term? If I'm asking myself, will this person do the job long term? And I look at all this, I'm like, wow, this person they've started 3 businesses. I don't think they're going to do the job long term. They've done product management. What? Why would I hire someone to do that? Wait, they're doing mental wellness and training mindfulness coaches. They want to work in a law firm. They only work for 2 years in a law firm. I don't understand. So these are the kind of they were working in a senior, so all these things are detracting from the overall message. And I think that this person, there's nothing wrong with this resume, by the way. This is a good resume. But the problem is if this person wants to be an attorney in a law firm, then all this stuff just can't, it's got to be changed out. I personally think that this is a great resume for someone that wants, but none of this stuff, SEO strategy and website design, none of this stuff has to do anything with working in a law firm. Frankly, if this person wants to work in a law firm, and everything here, like that this one's doing is really, they're almost saying, what could be? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, because I know, there's just nothing wrong with this, but you don't need to point out to people that you're a success and then show them why you're a success by sending people to websites and telling what other people, so it's good. It's just none of these things matter. So I think this person looks extremely interesting. I would love to be part of a networking group with them and talk to them and learn from them. But I don't think, and then you wrote an article called How Do I Survive as an M&A Associate in this top firm? But then you didn't. You were only there for a year or 2 years. So it's just all this stuff you don't need to send people to these things. And the big thing is, though, is very competitive people that go to the best schools and think There's nothing wrong with it, but it's very New York. It's you compare yourself to others and how you look in comparison to others. If you want to get a job, by the way, you can get a job probably at a law firm, but you need to probably take off all of this, most of the stuff that just needs to come off. And then this is all good. And then once all this is off, then you look like a focused attorney. And that's enough. Then you could just put down other between these dates, did these various other things. And I want to return to the practice of law. It actually might work. You haven't been gone that long. You've been gone for 12 years, not very long, or 11 years. But all these things that you're doing on here are going to detract from the message. And the big thing is that everyone here needs to understand it. And this is, I hope you guys can see this. This is more common with people that go to good schools and are very achievement oriented than people that don't. And you get into good schools by looking like the best and by being the best, by doing things that are outrageous and that look good. And in addition to being good, the first college intern ever hired, like all these things, the first, the best, the early, all these things are things that, that good schools like, and that people that are good at self-promotion, it helps them get into good schools. But this sort of thinking isn't necessary to get into a law firm. It's just this kind of stuff. If you've been sitting in an office for years and just pounding out work for clients, seeing all this stuff is not going to impress you. So this is what I would like to see if you want to get a job at a law firm, but this is what you need to do, because otherwise there's just no focus to it. You can put in a couple lines. This person did up here, way up here, about what they did, other things that they did, additional experience, and then lead with that resume, and then people will find you interesting. But if you want to work for someone else, it's got to be about focus.